proud supporters of our community since 1967. Stop by one of their 30 area McDonald's restaurants today. Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin and Genesis of Algonquin. Looking for a brand new Hyundai or certified pre-owned? It's Rosen Express online buying made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com or genesisofelgonquin.com. Tom the Plumber. Service and installations of the highest quality and craftsmanship. Tom the Plumber. Honest and affordable. Visit Tom online at tomtheplumberinc.com. And Daryl Barnes Photography for portraits, family and graduation photos, sports team photos, and more. Contact Daryl Barnes Photography at darylbarnes.com.
And welcome to another game of basketball here at the Hinkle Holiday Classic at Jacobs High School. I'm Logan Franz, and with me today is Jim Hinkle. And this game brought to you by our season sponsor, the Bear Family McDonald's, proud supporters of our community since 1967. Stop by one of their 30 area McDonald's restaurants today. And first quarter kicking off in just a minute here. This quarter is sponsored by Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin and Genesis of Algonquin. If you're looking for a brand new certified pre-owned, it's Rosen Express online buying made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com and genesisofelgonquin.com.
Well, Logan, what are you looking for today? I see Jacobs is a little short-handed. They only have 8 players dressed. Prairie Ridge has a full complement, but, you know, in these, besides the holidays, all the other things that teams are having to deal with now, you never know who's going to show up when and where with the ball clubs.
Yeah, we were talking in warm-ups. Jacobs only has 8 kids dressed, so they're a little short-handed. I think you're just looking for anyone to step up whenever they can. I mean, it's tough being short-handed. We're seeing it a lot in a lot of sports with COVID protocols kind of leaving teams short change. They just got to do whatever they can to keep themselves in game. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle, but I mean, you got to play the hand you're dealt, so to speak. If
Absolutely.
You're
One real positive for Jacobs, number 10, Nick McCoy. He's not starting, but he'll be coming in. It's his first game of the year. He's had a broken finger. He hasn't played yet, and he's an outstanding ball player. So we'll see how many minutes he could get in. His finger's healed, but I imagine his legs got a long way to go now with conditioning. We'll see.
Yeah, with the amount of players they have out, he might need to step up in a big way. We'll just have to see if he can, how much playing time he actually gets.
Exactly.
Ready for tip-off in a minute here. And that one will go to Prairie Ridge. That's number 20, Bryson Sione with it. And he will dish a pass out to Cade Collins. And that is Sione driving in. And that pass deflected. It'll be taken by number 20, Sione with it, to Collins.
Jacobs in their man-to-man defense.
With it. And that is James Muse looking for a partner, and he'll find Lindquist, Zach Lindquist. Lindquist to Lux. Lux to
Prairie Ridge, giving me lots of reasons to be excited about maybe a 30-second or 45-second clock coming to high school basketball in another year.
Lindquist trying to find a partner. Prairie Ridge trying to get something going, just can't quite figure it out. Collins with it to Lindquist. Lindquist up for 3, and that one lands.
That's a great shot. They worked over a minute to get that 20-footer. They could have had it about 15 other times, but they took it at the right time. Good job.
You'll take it how you can get it.
Absolutely good job by Prairie Ridge.
Brett Strickler, or I'm sorry, that is now Jackson Martucci with it for Jacobs. Now to Orencia. Orencia driving in, and that's Martucci for 3, and that one falls.
See if Prairie Ridge is patient again.
Jackson Otto with it. To find Cade Collins. Collins driving in, and that's Otto for 3, and that one lands as well.
A nice shooting touch by Mr. Otto.
That's Horencia carrying it in for Jacobs. That'll be Amari Owens. And Schickler to... That's Schickler again. He puts that one up, and that one does not land. As Prairie Ridge takes it back the other way, is James Muse with it.
All right.
Twist up for 3, and that one does not land.
Well.
And number 2 wide open, Mason Lux up for 3, and that one's off the backboard. And no, James Muse will try to put it back and cannot.
Interesting chain of events there. The first time down, Prairie Ridge worked 1 minute and 10 seconds off the clock, shot a 3. Next time down, they held it about 20 seconds, shot a 3. Next time down, they held it 5 seconds and shot a 3. They just like that 3 ball.
Hey, it only takes 1. Once you get it, you're kind of feeling it. That is Schlicker with it now, the player to watch for Jacobs, number 14. And now it's to Amari Owens. Owens to McCoy.
McCoy's first action of the year.
Martucci up for 3, and that one's off the rim. Or I'm sorry, that was McCoy on the 3-point ball. Owens trying to drive in, can't find a lane.
Didn't take him long to shoot one, did it?
It did not.
I've been waiting for months, man. I'm going to take a shot when I get it.
McCoy, Schlicker driving in, and fakes the pass, puts that one up, and Jacobs is on the board. Jacobs' first points of the day, 6-2, Prairie Ridge leads. 4 minutes left, 4.5 minutes left in the first.
Oh, nice high screen. They used it well. Got it down to 2 feet away, passed it back out to 20 feet away so we can get that 3 again. Prairie Ridge loves that 3-point shot. I haven't seen them all year, but obviously the first 4 times you get a chance to shoot, it's 3s. They love that 3-pointer. And you know, kicking it out from 2 feet away to 20 feet away is just the way it's played.
Yeah, if it starts working out for you, there's no reason to stray away from it until it stops.
Absolutely.
And that's 11, James Reese with it. And to Lindquist. Lindquist will drive in for a mid-range 2, and that one cannot land.
Good move by Zach Lindquist right there.
And we will get a couple free throws here for Lindquist. And first one is up.
He used a right hand on the shot and a left-handed shooter, so he can go either way. So that's a pretty tough combination. Not too many guys in high school can do that.
Lindquist lines up for the second free throw. And that one does go through. That will be 7-2 Prairie Ridge as Jacobs takes it back the other way. Martucci with the ball. And that's number 20, Ben Jerzak with it, as he will find Owens to Schlicker. Owens trying to drive in. He'll put that one up, and that one does not land. Prairie Ridge taking it back the other way. That's Muse with it to Otto. Otto driving in, finds Lux open for 2. He puts that one through. And that's another big 3 ball for Prairie Ridge.
Nice shot. They got that great penetration in there to get 2 or 3 feet away from the basket. Everyone collapses, kick it out to the 3-point shooter, and he drains it.
Works almost every time, and Lux has been a great shooter. I believe that's the second 3 of the game.
They look good. They're running it very nicely.
And this timeout brought to you by our season sponsor, Bear Family McDonald's, proud supporters of our community since 1967. Stop by one of their 30 area McDonald's restaurants today. Well, Jim, we've been talking a lot about the 3-point ball for Prairie Ridge that's been working real well for them. What do you like that you're seeing from them?
Well, their teamwork, they have really moved the ball well. Reminiscent of the Golden State Warriors, really. I mean, keep the ball moving, keep it going, finally find that open look from the perimeter and knock it dead. And their penetration has been good. They've only taken 1 shot off the penetration. That was by Zach Lindquist, but he came in there to his left, went back to his right and shot. So Prairie Ridge so far has been a pretty impressive team.
And what do you think we're seeing from Jacobs? One of the players it looks like they're missing is their highest scorer of the tournament, number 1, Isaiah Jackson. It doesn't look like I see him on the bench at all.
Yeah, Isaiah's not just their highest scorer, he's their best ball handler. So they're trying to make that adjustment now on who's going to handle the ball and who's going to get their offense going. They have penetrated 2 or 3 times very well and got into the lane and to the basket, but haven't capitalized. But right now, yeah, now they're trying to piece together a puzzle that fell apart over Christmas, and Coach Roberts is trying to put the puzzle back together here on the fly. So let's see what happens.
And give me a name. Who are you looking for to fill that void that Jackson leaves?
Well, again, we got to go to Nick McCoy and see how many minutes he can get in. His first game back, let's see if he can really give us a boost.
Martucci with it behind the arc. He'll give it to McCoy.
They isolate McCoy.
McCoy looking. Can't find it.
Nice defense there by Prairie Ridge.
Oh, is that Schlicker with it?
Otto.
That is Martucci, and he'll find McCoy. McCoy finds a partner in Jerzak, and he'll dish it back to McCoy. McCoy trying to drive in, decides against it. Schlicker with it.
Otto's doing a very good job of keeping McCoy from penetrating.
Martucci in that one, that pass goes errant, and it was deflected off of Prairie Ridge. Jacobs will inbound. That was James Muse who deflected it out of bounds for Prairie Ridge. McCoy over to Jerzak. Jerzak, that pass a little too hot to handle. As Jerzak looks, and I believe that'll be a trap. Pass would have been a nice play, but Schlicker just couldn't get his hands on it.
Jacobs really missing that ball handling of Isaiah Jackson right now. Just got to figure out a way to do it team-wise and keep moving the ball. Maybe not so much on the dribble, but just with their passing and cutting. Let's see what we get from Prairie Ridge. They run their offense very well. Little flex action.
And that is Andrew Reitmeyer in the game now for Prairie Ridge. And Luck's up for 3 again, and he can't put that one through.
They ran flex offense that time. But they're not looking for the 15-foot shot off the flex. They're looking for that 3, and he got a wide open look.
Lux will dish it out to Lindquist. Lindquist working behind the arc. And he'll drive in. That pass intercepted. Amari Owens takes that one for Jacobs, and McCoy will take it back. And that pass to little Aaron. McCoy will take it back. And he'll drive in. Owens up for 3. And that one does not quite make it. Jacobs trying to get that 3-point ball going with Amari Owens. He didn't quite have enough juice on it.
Yeah, it didn't look like his strength right there.
And that is number 11, James Muse for Prairie Ridge. Now Lindquist. Lindquist finds Muse again. Muse puts it up for a deep 2, and that one does not land. It's off the back of the rim.
It's the first time their offense didn't start with a 3.
As Orencia takes it back. And that pass a little errant. That was Martucci trying to hit Jerzak. And Jerzak passes a bit out of his wheelhouse. Substitution for Prairie Ridge. That is Lindquist coming out, and in the game is number 5, Tyler Vasey. And he passes out to Lux, who will carry it on in. Lux finds Collins. Collins to Reitmeyer.
A little
Reitmeyer
weave.
to Lux.
Jacobs
And that was
staying in the
Tyler
man-to-man.
Lux with it, Collins to Vasey.
Prairie
Vasey
Ridge
looking
very patient again. Oh, great
And
pass.
an underneath pass, Reitmeyer, he puts that one up and can't quite land it.
Bounce pass in traffic. Who was through that pass? Tyler Vasey threw that pass?
That was Vasey, yeah.
Did a little screen roll, and it was a great pass, penetration. Oh, but then when we missed the 3-footer, maybe he should have kicked it out to that 3-point shooter, huh?
I mean, it's been working a lot better for him so far.
That was a great pass.
Nick McCoy with it for Jacobs. And that is Schlicker looking for a partner. I'll find one in Martucci. Martucci drives in, dishes it out to Schlicker behind the arc. Schlicker to McCoy. That is Orencia. Orencia to Martucci. Martucci to McCoy. McCoy over the head to Martucci. McCoy driving in. The pass looked like he was out of bounds before he passed it.
May have been pushed out of bounds.
27 seconds remaining here in the first as Jacobs makes a substitution. That is number 15, Carter Roper in the game in place of Nick McCoy. And Roper will take the inbound pass to Martucci. Martucci finds Orencia. Orencia trips a little bit, may have been tripped up a little bit by an opposing player. And Jacobs will inbound again.
Prairie Ridge playing very good defensively right now. They're just keeping Jacobs from running anything, getting any open looks. So.
Jacobs, 20 seconds trying to find something. Orencia will drive in. He'll get the pass out to Martucci behind the arc. Martucci resetting, calling out signals. As the clock winding down here, that is Orencia with it. And Orencia with a pass inside to Martucci up for three just as the buzzer sounds, and that one's off the rim. And Jacobs tried to get something done with the buzzer beater shot to end the first quarter, come up short.
Yeah, a little out of sync, Prairie Ridge playing very well defensively, being very patient offensively, looking for that three shot at all times. Right now has been the dominant team. Jacobs just trying to piece it all together, get some flow to their game, which they just haven't had at this point in time.
Yeah, Prairie Ridge hasn't taken many opportunities to shoot, but when they have, they've capitalized.
Yeah, they have. Their three-point percentage is outstanding. I don't have it, but they put in probably, I know they put in over 50% of them, but.
And the second quarter about to start here. This quarter sponsored by Daryl Barnes Photography. For portraits, family, and graduation photos, sports team photos, and more, contact Daryl Barnes Photography at darylbarnes.com.
Daryl was in your position right here a short while ago as a South Elgin graduate as well, Logan. So the people, you guys that come through this program and going out into this program, not just locally, but basically nationwide, is outstanding. Beacon Academy does a fantastic job with this program.
There's a bunch of very talented people here, a lot of them working on putting it together today for us. I was South Elgin class of 2018, so I've been out of school for about 4 years now, but the Academy continues to evolve and bring in more talented kids year after year. It's really impressive.
Oh, I wish we had something like this at Jacobs High School. It is outstanding. I just love it, and I think you do a great job. Should we mention your sponsor? Just look at. Oh, nice.
Martucci puts that one up with the putback, and that one's good.
Well run. Set play coming out of the quarter. That's one of Jacob's favorite plays, and it clicked right there.
Lindquist puts it up for three for Prairie Ridge, and that one lands as well. Just as momentum thought it might be shifting, Prairie Ridge answers.
Lindquist, nice shooter, and he can penetrate. Just a nice ball player.
That's Martucci with it. He will dish it to Orencia. Orencia back to Martucci. Martucci back to Orencia. Orencia to Jerzak. Jacobs working behind the arc. That is Roper with it, Carter Roper. Roper to Martucci. To Jerzak. Jerzak back to Martucci. Martucci drives in wide open, puts that one up, and just goes off the rim.
Good move to the rack, just couldn't finish.
It's Jackson Otto carrying it in for Prairie Ridge. Up to Reitmeyer. Reitmeyer back to Otto, and he puts that one through from three. The three ball really working for Prairie Ridge today.
Yeah, Otto and Lindquist back to back. They fake that penetration and jump back out beyond the three-point range. As I said, their movement's very similar to the Warriors. There's a nice little drive.
So. And that was Ben Jerzak with the drive-in for Jacobs. Makes it a 16-6 ball game. Lindquist taking it from behind the arc. Collins looking for a lane, and that one goes out. And he will carry it back in. Collins to Reitmeyer. Reitmeyer driving in, he'll find Lindquist behind him. Lindquist looks to reset. Lindquist to Reitmeyer. And Reitmeyer's gonna try and drive in. He'll dish it back behind him. That was over to Jackson Otto. Otto tried to find Tyler Vasey, but that pass was a little error, went a bit over his head.
Yeah, they just weren't on the same page. One guy looking to cut to the hole, the other one looking for him to fade a little bit for that three. So they just weren't on the same page that time.
That's McCoy with it for Jacobs. He'll find a partner, he'll find Jerzak. Jerzak back to McCoy. McCoy drives in, dishes it back to Jerzak. Jerzak with a nice little step back move, and he'll put that one up for three, but it just doesn't land. And that is James Muse carrying it in for Pridge. He'll take it in himself. That was Muse in on Prairie Ridge, tried to put it in, and then I believe that was number 20, Jackson Otto on the putback. And Muse will line up for a couple free throws. And his first one will land.
Really impressed with Prairie Ridge so far. Both ends of the floor, they're playing very well.
Mason Lux enters the game for Prairie Ridge for Tyler Vasey as that was Muse drains a second free throw. That'll make it a 12-point game. As Martucci coming in for Jacobs to McCoy. McCoy back to Martucci. Martucci up for three, and that one's just off the side of the rim. And Jacobs trying to regain possession, but they can't quite get their hands on it. There was some fighting for the ball, and it will roll out of bounds, and Prairie Ridge will inbound. Lindquist taking it in for Prairie Ridge. Go across half court. And looks to set something up. We'll have a swing pass over to Muse. Muse will drive in, puts it up, and that one just rolls outside.
Prairie Ridge, got to stop taking those 3-foot shots and get it back out the 3-point line.
Dude, it's been working for you as Martucci tries to get a pass, and that one just can't make it. That intended for Carter Roper. And Prairie Ridge will inbound.
Well, I'll tell you what, on the floor right now between the two teams, you'd never know it was basketball teams if you saw them walking down the street. There's nobody over 6 foot tall, I don't think, on either team out there. It's interesting to see that lack of size by everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely unusual as Jackson Otto lands a 3-point shot.
I think Otto's been around his parents for a while. He got a lot of extra shooting in. He's a nice touch.
McCoy up for three wide open, and he can't land that one. McCoy still trying to shake off a little bit of the rust. You mentioned earlier this is his first game back. Lux coming back. And Collins driving it in and puts that one up and lands that one.
There we go. We finally got a 4-footer. All right.
As Prairie Ridge finally continues to pull ahead. 23-6 ball game. Martucci with a pass to Jerzak as we get a whistle. And Jacobs will inbound again.
Just a very impressive showing by PR to start this game. Both ends of the floor. We'll see what the rest of the game holds, but right now they're executing on both ends, playing good defense, and they're running their offense extremely well. Jacobs a little discombobulated. It's hard to get the right combination when you haven't got the rest of the pieces of the puzzle. So it may take them a half to figure out exactly what will work best together in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to finish a puzzle, to extend that metaphor, when you don't have all your pieces, and they don't have all their pieces right now, so they're really trying to just make do with what they have.
Exactly.
This timeout sponsored by Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin and Genesis of Algonquin. If you're looking for a brand new or certified pre-owned, it's Rosen Express online buying made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com and genesisofalgonquin.com. Jim, we've been talking a lot about it today, but the three-point ball is really working well for Prairie Ridge. They've really been struggling from inside, which is kind of the opposite of what you'd expect to see from a team in a game like this.
They're very patient at times with their offense, but if they get that open look for Lindquist or Otto, they're patient if it takes them a little while to get it to one of those guys. But if they get it to them in an open look early in the offense, they'll take it right away. Those two guys can shoot the basketball. They look very good today. But Prairie Ridge is playing a very disciplined game. As I said, on both ends of the floor, I'm really impressed with them. They have no size whatsoever. I thought Jacobs was small, but not so much in comparison to, I don't think, PR has one guy that's listed at 6'1", number 10,
Yeah,
Kate
one
Collins.
of the guys out there, Mason Lux, he's 5'7". That's my height. He's out there playing. So he's
Exactly. He should be behind a microphone, Logan.
exactly. But he's been having a great game from the three-point line.
Absolutely. There we go.
And that is Brett Schlicker starts to get something
Brett
going.
is a very good three-point shooter. Maybe he'll get some open looks and get us back in the game.
Maybe he'll ignite something. Let's see what Prairie Ridge does to respond. As that is
Whoop.
loading with it. Samuel loading.
Little bump down low.
Over to Muse. Muse calling out some signals. And he will find that was loading. That's back out to Muse. Muse underneath to loading. Loading puts it up, and that one goes through.
Great penetration. PR's penetrated a couple times now and got easy looks in there. So now they're kind of carving apart the Jacobs defense.
That's number 12, Martucci, with it for Jacobs, and he'll find Brett Schlicker. Schlicker dishes it out to Martucci, open for three, and that one's off the rim.
Martucci is usually a good three-point shooter. If he'd warm up a little bit, he maybe could shoot us back to this game. But right now, it's all PR.
Lindquist with it for Prairie Ridge. He'll find a pass out to Otto, without over to Lux. Lux to loading underneath to Muse, and that will be ruled out on Jacobs. Seems. Prairie Ridge will inbound. They're saying McCoy was the last to touch that. I'm not sure about that one. It looked to me like it might have gotten on the hands of Samuel loading, but loading will with the inbound pass to Muse. Muse looking behind the arc, finds Lindquist. Lindquist with the pass cross court to loading, and loading will put up a nice little layup for two.
I think he traveled when he started out.
It looked like it.
Looked like he was receiving a hand or a pitch from the quarterback right there. Had a running start.
As that is Orencia taking it back to Jacobs. Schlicker with it, working behind the arc. Back to Orencia, to Martucci. Martucci to Mari Owens. Owens will find Orencia. Jacobs working behind the arc. Orencia drives in. And that was Brett Schlicker, who tried with the drive in and could not quite get it to land. 25-9 ball game, 1:47 left in the half. Jacobs down 16. They're going to need to look to get something going pretty quickly if they want to still be in this one. Lucas carrying it in for Prairie Ridge. To Jackson Otto. He'll find James Muse. And Muse will have to reset. Lindquist takes it now. Trying to find a partner, and he'll find Tyler Basie. Basie for Lindquist for three, and that one goes through.
Lindquist can shoot, can he?
So if my count is correct, that's his third three-point of the game. He's been on fire today. Adam Orencia driving it in for Jacobs, a minute left on the clock. Brett Schlicker with it to Martucci. Martucci to Jerzak. Jerzak finds Orencia. To Martucci, back to Orencia. Orencia starts a drive in, can't get anywhere. Schlicker now, and we will get another whistle.
Neither team in foul trouble. No free throws are in the bonus or anything at this point in time. So pretty clean ball game as we speak.
And Prairie Ridge will take it in. And wide open, he puts that one up for 2, and that one goes through. That's Cade Collins. Found the opening for Prairie Ridge. And that's Orencia with it. 36 seconds left on the clock. Jerzek to Martucci. Jacobs looking to get something done before the clock expires. Owens to Orencia. Orencia to Martucci. Martucci back to Owens. Jerzek to Orencia. 16 seconds left for Jacobs. Orencia looking for a partner, 10 seconds. He'll find Martucci, Martucci to Owens. Jacobs still working behind the arc. Owens, 4 seconds, 3, 2. And a Hail Mary shot put up by Orencia. Didn't really have time to prepare for it, just put up a prayer and it went way out of range. And we will go to half. Prairie Ridge leading the Golden Eagles 30-9. And we will be right back after a short break.
Hi, welcome to the Bear Family McDonald's. Thank you.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
not hearing you.
Welcome back to another half here at Jacobs High School. And don't forget, this game brought to you by our season sponsor, the Bear Family McDonald's, proud supporters of our community since 1967. Stop by one of their 30 area McDonald's restaurants today. And Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin and Genesis of Algonquin. If you're looking for a brand new or certified pre-owned, it's Rosen Express online buying made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com and genesisofalgonquin.com.
Well, Logan Jacobs late coming out here. Coach Roberts had some words of wisdom, I'm sure, for them. It looked more like we talked about the puzzle, trying to put the puzzle together, but we don't have all the pieces. I'll tell you, first half actually more looked like Humpty Dumpty, and the omelet's been made. It isn't that we can't find the pieces to the puzzle. They aren't there.
For
so
sure.
Stop looking for them. This is the pieces we got. Come on, guys.
And it feels like it might get worse before it gets better for Jacobs if they keep this up.
I'm sure. I'm sure they heard an earful in there on how to get back into this game.
I feel like they had to, down 21 at the half. And Lindquist taking it back for Prairie Ridge.
Oh, what
and
a
he will
great
drive it alone
move.
And just can't finish that play off.
Lindquist is shooting worse on layups than he is on threes. What
That's
a
for sure.
great move that was. He goes with his left hand or right hand, either way.
And
Jacobs
Owens with
got
a nice little steal.
Good.
That was Owens picking the pocket of Jackson Otto. As now Orencia has it. Orencia to Martucci. Martucci to Schlicker, working behind the arc. To Martucci, that passed a little out of his wheelhouse. He was able to haul it in. To Schlicker. Schlicker to Orencia, Orencia to Roper. And now Martucci up from three and lands that one.
Jacobs ran their offense the best they've run it all day and got that open look from three-point land and canned it. They've got a couple decent shooters, and who was it put that in? Martucci.
That was
canned that
Martucci.
three, and that was after a very patient offensive flow. The first time they've had that kind of flow all day. So I'm sure that's a result of going into the locker room and hearing what they have to do to get in this game. They've had a steal and a nice offensive flow and got a three.
For sure,
We'll see what happens.
Despite being down big, they didn't panic. They were playing their offense just like they've been playing it all game, and it worked out for them. They managed to find 3 more points. Only down 18. It's a tough deficit to come back from, that's for sure, but it's not impossible if they can keep playing like this and play some strong defense.
We had a game earlier today. Johnsburg was up by 26 in the third quarter, and the game went down to a last-second shot. Streamwood had a last-second shot to tie the game, missed it, and Johnsburg eked out a 74-71 win. But it was a 26-point deficit in the third quarter, so
It's a beautiful
stranger
thing
things
about
have
the
happened.
sport. It's momentum shifts can really change a game at the drop of a hat, as Lux has it for Prairie Ridge. And he'll find Otto. Otto driving in, passes it back out to Lindquist, who will go down on the play.
Again, we almost had a steal there. We got the foul instead, but Jacobs been much more aggressive defensively now. They've had one steal. They went for another one here. They got a foul, but they come out a lot more like the Jacobs defense always is, but wasn't the first half.
For sure, and they need to play aggressive if they want to put themselves back into this one. Muse to Lindquist. Lindquist working behind the arc. He'll find Collins. Cade Collins. Collins starts to drive in. Now he's trying to find a partner in that pass.
There we
Looks
go.
like it's deflected.
Yeah, we got another turnover. Jacobs
Jacobs will inbound.
had a little talking to on playing defense, I think, at halftime. So let's see if they
Seems
can
like
run their
it.
offense again.
Orencia taking it in. That's Roper to Schlicker. Schlicker to Owens. Owens driving in, stops, looks for a passing partner. He'll find Orencia. Orencia to Roper, to Martucci. Martucci back to Roper. Roper driving in, puts that one up, and that one's off the rim. Owens tries to put it back, but it looked like Muse of Prairie Ridge got a hand on that one before he could. And it looks like we'll get a couple free throws here.
Yeah, Jacobs able to penetrate, even though they missed the layup. We got a good offensive board going to the free throw line. A lot different team right now than for that first 2 quarters.
Been a tale of 2 halves so far. Owens puts up the first free throw. And the second one also lands.
And we're coming out with a little full court pressure.
It's going to be Otto
Man to man.
trying to take it in. Otto showing some patience. And that's
Another
Owens with the
steal.
steal. And Jacobs can't quite get something going off of that. Owens with a nice steal, but couldn't quite handle it.
That's 3 turnovers they've created already in the first 2 minutes. So, seen a different Jacobs team come out here. They're playing with the pieces they got right now instead of worried about the ones they don't have.
The aggressive defense is paying dividends for him so far this half. And that's James Muse with it for Prairie Ridge. And with a nice little underneath pass.
That was a great pass again.
That was
twice that they've done that.
That was Otto who just couldn't put it back. Otto with the ball back after Muse gets the steal. And Muse back to Otto, trying to work something underneath, and that shot goes nowhere. And we play on Otto with it, and now Prairie Ridge will start to regroup behind the arc. Jacobs with the steal. That is Orencio carries it in quickly. Owens to Martucci, open for 3, and that one lands. I'm sorry, that was Brett Schlicker.
That came off of another turnover that Jacobs created. Now we're seeing them play. That's a night and day difference from first half to this half.
They made a 21-point game into a 13-point game like that in just 5 minutes. And Otto with a Lindquist up for 3, and that one lands. First points of the half for Prairie Ridge.
You got to get out in his face. That kid can shoot the ball.
See if that can inject some life back into Prairie Ridge as Roper takes it for Jacobs. And Orenci back to Roper. Roper drives in, finds Schlicker open for 3 again, and he can't quite get that one. As Muse will take it back for Prairie Ridge. Looks for his help. He'll find Otto. Otto drives in, puts that one up, and that one goes off the rim. And that was Carter Roper who had it for Jacobs, and he gets taken down. We'll get a whole host of substitutions coming in for Prairie Ridge.
Jackson Otto's a pretty good ball player. You team him up with Zach Lindquist. What we got? Jack and Zach. Boy, what a twosome they are for PR.
And that is McCoy now in the game for Jacobs. He's working behind the arc. A deep 2, and that one's off the back as Prairie Ridge takes it back the other way. Lindquist. Lindquist crossed the court. That's to Vasey. Vasey to Reitmeyer. Reitmeyer to Lindquist. Playing catch right behind the arc there. That's loading with it. He'll get it to Lindquist. Loading now. And Roper looked like he got a hand on that one. Loading, bobbled it a little bit. And we will get a timeout.
Okay, Logan, test your newfound rules. Why has this timeout just been called?
You know what? I'm a little out of practice, I'm afraid.
New rule, Logan. This is a mask timeout. Neither team is charged. The referees called that so they can have Now, since none of the kids, they just wear the mask around the neck, I don't know that it serves the purpose, but this is what they call a mask timeout. They take one of these every quarter so the kids can breathe a little more freely or whatever.
Well, in any case, this timeout brought to you by Tom the Plumber. Tom the Plumber, Inc. is a family-owned and operated company committed to providing plumbing service and installations of the highest quality and craftsmanship. Tom the Plumber, honest and affordable. Visit Tom online at tomtheplumberinc.com. We've been talking about it a little bit as this half goes on, but Jacobs kind of starting to claw their way back into this one. Still a big time lead. They're still down 16, but there's still plenty of ball left to play, and they've looked like a new team coming out of the second half.
Yeah, the difference is they're playing much more aggressively this half than they did the first half. The first half they were kind of listless, maybe feeling a little sorry for themselves, you know? Who knows who can get inside the head or minds of young men as they go out there to compete. And it's hard when you come around, you look around, you see only this guy and that guy, and this one's missing and that one's missing. And I don't think they really threw themselves into the game till at halftime. Again, I'm sure Coach Roberts explained to them what's going on, and they've come out a different ball club.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a talking to at halftime, and it's definitely looks like it's factored into their play. I think we've seen
I don't think there's
we've
any
seen
doubt
some new
about
resilience.
it. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. So we'll see. They had quite a hole they had dug. Would they have 9 points at halftime?
And now they have 17.
They dug themselves quite a hole. Let's see what happens.
They're trying to get out of it as we speak. Roper taking it in, and he'll drive in. And he'll end up dishing it out to McCoy behind the arc. McCoy to Jerzak. Jerzak to Martucci. I'm sorry, that's Schlicker. Owens driving in, puts it up, and that one doesn't make it. And that is Lindquist coming back the other way. They'll find Kevin Fist, his first action of the game. Fist starts a drive, and we will get a whistle. And Lindquist going to take it in for Prairie Ridge once again. The inbound pass, he finds Tyler Vasey. Vasey to Lindquist once again. Lindquist looking for a lane. He'll find Reitmeyer. Reitmeyer starts to drive in, stops, finds Lindquist underneath. Lindquist puts it up and lands.
Nice bounce pass. Again, they've used that bounce pass in the lane several times today. That's the first time they made it pay off, but they're pretty good at using that bounce pass in traffic.
Prairie Ridge finding some offense, which they struggled to do early in this quarter.
Lindquist with the right hand on that shot, and for a left-handed dude, he uses the right hand very well.
That's Nick McCoy with it for Jacobs. He will find, that was Jerzak, now Owens with it. Back to McCoy. Over to Schlicker. Schlicker looking for a place to go. Nice little step back move. Nothing comes of it. Jerzak looking behind the arc. He'll find Schlicker once again. Owens. Owens drives in, puts it up, and can't quite land. He's been struggling shooting today, Owens
Yeah,
has.
he has. He's penetrated well several times, but he just can't find the bucket.
And that's Reitmeyer. Hesitates a bit, but takes a wide open three, and that one's off the rim. Was the deep pass there by Lindquist to set up that sequence. Muse couldn't find anything, dished it out to Reitmeyer behind the arc, wide open. Not quite sure why he hesitated to take the shot.
Well, I guess he's, you know, if it isn't Lindquist or Otto on that three-point range, the others don't shoot them very often. They got two definite three-point shooters, and he probably thought, should I or shouldn't I?
I mean, you got to be confident you can make it if you take the shot, that's for sure.
Especially when we got two other great shooters.
Definitely. Ryan Smerjian in the game now for Jacobs. And that's a steal.
Nice.
And he will put that one up, and that one lands.
Nicely done. Got in that passing lane. Converted at the other end.
Big time steal by Samuel Loading to put 2 more points on the board for Prairie Ridge. McCoy looking to get something going. Jerzak. Jerzak with a pass out to McCoy. McCoy to Smerjian now in the game. Schlicker.
PR's defense has been outstanding. Jacobs just can't seem to get anything open.
Schlicker
There's
to
a
Smerjian
look.
wide open for 3, and
There.
that one's just overshot as Jerzak tries to get the putback and cannot quite connect, but he will go to the line for a couple free throws. This is something Jacobs could really use if they still want to get themselves back into this one. Free throws are a good way to cut your deficit just a little bit. As he
Yeah,
makes the
scoring
first.
when the clock is stopped it helps you knock off that deficit. But the game is getting late. We're at the end of the third quarter, and we ended up not making much of a dent. And
Yeah.
we started out much better, but
Might be a bit too little
Prairie
too
Ridge
late.
has accepted the challenge, I'll tell you that.
Reitmeyer puts one up and cannot connect, and we'll get a stoppage. Yeah, as you were saying, it might be too little too late for Jacobs at this point. 18 seconds left in the third as Andrew Reitmeyer comes up to the line for a couple free throw chances. And he makes the first. Makes it a 19-point game. And Reitmeyer's second is up and in. And that will make it an even 20-point game. Prairie Ridge 39, Jacobs 19. As Orencia takes it back the other way for Jacobs. 8 seconds left. And Martucci puts that one up for three, and that one's off the back of the rim. Some fighting for it. Owens puts it up, and that one is blocked, it looked like, by Reitmeyer on Prairie Ridge, and nothing comes of a last offensive surge by Jacobs. And that will end the third quarter, a 20-point ball game. Prairie Ridge 39, Jacobs 19. And this fourth quarter brought to you by Daryl Barnes Photography for portraits, family, and graduation photos, sports team photos, and more. Contact Daryl Barnes Photography at darylbarnes.com. We saw kind of at the beginning of this quarter a little offensive surge by Jacobs. They started to get something going, and then Prairie Ridge answered.
Yes.
If Jacobs still wants to, well, let's start. Do you think Jacobs has a chance still in this game, or do you think it's a bit out of reach?
Not a chance in the world. Sorry. But this is when you work at other little goals. Okay, let's not give them any easy looks on the threes. Let's not let them get a second shot. Let's see if we can create a turnover. You want to look at other goals right now. Don't look at that scoreboard, guys. Look at other goals. We're going to get a trap and we're going to get a turnover. We're not going to give up a wide open three. And other goals have to be set right now because winning this game, it just isn't going to happen. And I know you can't sit in there and say, you don't sit in the huddle and say, guys, we're not going to win today. But you do say, here's the plan for this quarter. Let's get a trap. Let's not give up another three. Let's not give up a second shot. Let's go from right here and see what we can do for this 8 minutes.
For sure, you're playing for pride, as they say at this point.
Absolutely.
But as for a severely undermanned Jacobs team, that might be exactly what they need right now. Kevin Fist with it for Prairie Ridge.
Yeah, if they can play a great 8 minutes, at least they'll be mentally ready to play tomorrow. If they can just come out and play a great 8 minutes here.
And that's Nathan Smith in the game for Prairie Ridge, his first action. Yeah. And Vasey looked like he had a pass that went a little errant. And the inbound pass, that is Nathan Smith, finds Kevin Fist underneath. He tries to put it up and can't quite.
Almost had that turnover, and nothing seems to go your way. When things are going wrong, they go way wrong many times. Looked like Jacobs had a turnover and it ended up getting back inside for a easy look, which ended up going to the foul line.
That's a side effect of playing a bit more of an aggressive style of defense, is sometimes you lend yourself to some more fouls. As Fist misses his first free throw. Get a second opportunity here. And lands that one. That puts Prairie Ridge over the 40-point threshold. Nick McCoy taking it back for Jacobs. McCoy mishandles a little bit, tries to get a pass, but Reitmeyer takes it away. And Prairie Ridge will regroup. that is Donald Facone in the game. To Kevin Fist. Fist up for 3, and that one's right off the back. As Jacobs takes it back the other way, that's Martucci. And McCoy. McCoy working behind the arc.
I'd like to see McCoy get a couple buckets here in this fourth quarter, just to get that confidence, you know, get some of the rust off from being out for so long.
Martucci drives in, finds McCoy behind the arc. As McCoy drives in himself, puts it up, and that one's just outside. Nice opportunity there, just couldn't
Great
finish
drive,
the play.
no finish.
And that's Tyler Vasey taking it back for Prairie. That's a steal by McCoy. He's in alone, he puts that one up, and that's the little bit of spark that Jacobs needed. Definitely gets some life into your team, even though it might be too late to come back in this one. Kevin Fist with Prairie Ridge. They'll find Facone. Facone, that pass deflected, but it ends up in the hands of Nathan Smith. And that was Facone driving in, but we got a whistle. That'll be a foul. And Prairie Ridge will inbound. Kevin Fist taking it behind the arc. He will find Uzam Ansari out of Fist. To Facone. Facone looking to create something. He'll drive in himself, puts that one up, and that one lands. And Prairie Ridge continues to extend their lead.
From the crowd response, I would say he hasn't scored many points this year, so that was a nice job for him.
And Martucci's 3 just misses. Looks like it's most of their alternates in the game for Prairie Ridge.
I think so.
That's Brandon Nathan. And that one put up by Uzam Ansari, but can't quite land. Jacobs coming back the other way. That's Carter Roper to Schlicker. Schlicker back to Roper. McCoy puts one up from behind the arc, and that one's off the back of the rim. And Kevin Fist taking it back for Prairie Ridge. He'll find Nathan Smith. Smith driving in. He'll stop behind the arc, finds Fist. Fist takes it in, mishandles, maybe looks like he just kind of lost possession of that one.
Yeah, PR is getting some, a lot of kids into the game now, getting them some game experience, giving their first line players a little breather. Of course, Jacobs is so short-handed. The same guys have been playing, still got to play. Let's just see if they can have some positive things happen here in the last 5 minutes.
Definitely Ben Jerzak with it for Jacobs to McCoy. McCoy got in a lot of minutes in his first game back.
Good bounce pass.
Jerzak with or McCoy with the bounce back to Jerzak, and Jerzak puts that one up for 2.
Nicely done.
Makes it a 42-23 game. 4:40 left in this one, as Jerzak will line up for a free throw. Add a little bit extra onto this basket here, and he will. Adds the N1, both teams in the bonus now. And Facone taking it back for Prairie Ridge. That was Facone to Trace Verbanchik, who's now entered the game. And he will go to the free throw line. Verbanchik's first free throw is up, and he'll miss it. So we'll have a live ball. As Jerzak takes it for Jacobs, McCoy dishes it back to Jerzak. Will take it across the goal. And that's a steal by Prairie Ridge. He'll put that one up, and that one lands. That was Brandon Nathan in on the steal for Prairie Ridge. Jerzak taking it back. 20-point game now. Jerzak will carry it himself. Gives it to Martucci, who puts that layup up for 2. Ansari with it for Prairie Ridge. He'll carry it across. That's a steal. Jacobs will put it up, and that one lands. Big play for Carter Roper. As Prairie Ridge takes it back the other way for Coney, and he will mishandle, and we will get a whistle. And a foul is called. It's Roper's 4th foul of the game. He will exit. And it looks like we will get a timeout.
Got a couple more subs coming in for Prairie Ridge. I think they're trying to get everyone a little bit of time today.
They're getting their reserves warmed up. It's nice to kind of get off the bench and get moving a little bit, especially in a game where you're up 16 with 3.5 minutes left.
They've played an outstanding game. I'm really impressed with Prairie Ridge today. They've played an outstanding game at both ends of the floor. I think they can look forward to, in spite of their lack of size, absolute total lack of size, they play a good game. They play defense. They run their offense very well. They'll be a fun team to follow in the second half of the season.
For sure. And this timeout brought to you by Darryl Barnes Photography. For portraits, family and graduation photos, sports team photos, and more. Contact Darryl Barnes Photography at darrylbarnes.com. Got about 3.5 minutes left this game. Pretty much over at this point, but what are you looking to see as in the closing minutes here?
Well, I'm sure we're going to see that Jacobs is not going to just roll over. They're going to keep playing hard. They'll try and whittle this down a little bit. Just get some good plays, get a little bit of confidence, so when you go home and rest tonight, come back with an attitude of we can get this done. Maybe some other pieces will be here, but they can't be worried about that right now. All they can do is get themselves prepared, and if it's the grade 8 again tomorrow, then it's the grade 8, and come back with renewed energy and play well tomorrow. So, 5 games over, this year it's been 11 days. Usually it's 5 games over 8 days, 7 days, stuff like that. So it's really been spread out this year, and it's been an exciting tournament. You're going to see a great Final Four tonight. Starts the semifinals.
Definitely, there's been a lot of good basketball being played here in the past few days.
Yeah, we have Larkin versus Loyola and Barrington against Bartlett in the Final Four, and that's 4 really outstanding basketball teams in the area. And I think if you got nothing to do tonight, come on over. This is some great basketball. If you can't make it here, tune in and catch us on YouTube and catch the Beacon Academy's production of the great basketball tournament this evening, 6 o'clock and 7:30 for those 2 semifinal games.
For sure, the production crew back in the truck is doing a great job over there. As Martucci puts that one up for 3, and that one's out of the rim. And Prairie Ridge will take it back. That's Ansari. And some passing. That's number 30, Jake Dolan in the game. And Ansari puts that one up, and that one lands.
He says, I'm not going to play many minutes, so I'm going to get mine. And he got a nice look, squared up and put that in. That was a nice touch.
Got to make the most of the
minutes
time
you
you're
get.
given. Jerzak looking behind the arc. He'll find McCoy. McCoy contemplates shooting, then elects to pass. Jerzak, Schlicker to Roper. Martucci looking for a lane. He'll find Roper again back behind the arc. Roper drives in, and that's Jerzak driving in for Jacobs. Puts that one up, and that one goes through.
Good move. Good move.
48-30 ball game here with 2 minutes left to play. As that's number 30, Jake Dolan, to Ansari for Prairie Ridge. Ansari to Brendan Nathan, I'm sorry. And Nathan, that pass is deflected by McCoy.
Still
As
playing
now
hard.
Will take
Still
it back
playing hard.
Jacobs. And Jerzak to Roper, wide open for three, and that one is just overshot. Put a bit too much juice on that one. I'm sorry, coming back. Minute and a half left to play. That is Trace for Banchik. And that pass underneath just doesn't connect. That was Brendan Nathan on the pass. And Adam Morencia taking it back from Jacobs to Roper. Jerzak to Roper. Roper underneath, puts that one up. That one's off the rim. He'll try to get it back, but can't quite. As for Banchik, he's on the rebound for Prairie Ridge, and we will get a whistle.
A little bit of a frustration foul there. Missed that easy shot. Reached in then trying to get the ball back. Just a little frustrated with himself at not being able to put in that little shot.
And for Banchik, we'll head to the free throw line as a result. A minute left. And for Banchik's first is up and out. And that is Renzi taking it back. He'll hang back. Cross center now. That's Jerzak. Jerzak mishandles a little bit. Now pass out to Arencia to Samaritan. And that's Schlicker to Jerzak. Jerzak back to Schlicker. Schlicker up for three. And can't put that one in. Can't finish that play, but Jacobs will get the rebound. Schlicker with it again. Drives in, puts that one up, and that one's overshot just a little bit. 25 seconds left. We will get a foul. That's Brett Schlicker sent to the line.
Schlicker, the nice shooter for Jacobs. It's been a frustrating morning, afternoon, whatever for the Golden Eagles. I'm sure they'll come back a little more vim and vigor tomorrow and figure out what they got to do to compete a little bit better. It's been a tough day for them.
And hopefully they're not going to be as outnumbered as they were this game. It's kind of a tough situation to be in.
And Prairie Ridge, I'm just super impressed with them. Both ends of the floor. They're going to be a fun team to watch again tomorrow and the rest of the season to see how they compete.
That's a steal by Samaritan. He'll run it in and puts that one up and just can't get it as Prairie Ridge will grab the rebound. That's Jake Dolan. Dolan to Verbanchik as the buzzer sounds, and that will be the end as Prairie Ridge takes care of Jacobs 48-32.
Well, Ben, it's good to see you. The game didn't give us a lot of highlights, but you know what? It's just a game. One team didn't have all its pieces. The other team did. And boy, I'm confident Jacobs will come back and play very hard tomorrow. And I'm excited about watching Prairie Ridge play the rest of the year.
The effort for Jacobs definitely was incredible today, especially considering how undermanned they were. So it's a good, promising game for Jacobs, and we'll see if they can come back better tomorrow. This was a great game for them. I think even though they lost, they can take a lot to be proud of. And that is the end of this one. I want to give a special thank you to all the men and women out in the production truck who make this possible. We're just here talking into microphones. They're doing the real hard work out there. So great special thanks to all of our production crew, and a special thanks to our game sponsors, Bear Family McDonald's, Rosen Hyundai, Tom the Plumber, and Daryl Barnes Photography. That's it for this game. Stay tuned. We have Cary Grove versus Waubonsie Valley coming up here at Jacobs High School. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcast made possible by contributions from the following. The Bear Family McDonald's, proud supporters of our community since 1967. Stop by one of their 30 area McDonald's restaurants today. Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin, and Genesis of Algonquin. Looking for a brand new Hyundai or certified pre-owned? It's Rosen Express online buying made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com or genesisofelgonquin.com. Tom the Plumber. Service and installations of the highest quality and craftsmanship. Tom the Plumber. Honest and affordable. Visit Tom online at tomtheplumberinc.com. And Daryl Barnes Photography for portraits, family and graduation photos, sports team photos, and more. Contact Daryl Barnes Photography at darylbarnes.com.